What's going on, everybody? Today, it's your boy Standing Man. I just wanted to have a conversation. Wanted to talk about these new millennial women and how a lot of these females are really being raised to hate men. And it's very strange in the time that we live in. You know, I'm in my 30s, close to my mid 30s. And it seems like the women of my generation really hate men. Let's talk about that shit. This is just my point of view. This is just my perspective. I'm not trying to hurt nobody. I'm not trying to disrespect nobody. We just out here having a conversation. So I don't know what it is. I just feel like every almost every woman in my generation, you know, it seems like everybody has this attitude that I don't need a man for nothing. I I don't need, you know, men can't do nothing for me. Men ain't this and men ain't that. It's like men have no worth or no value these days. It's very strange. This is a weird subject to talk about, but it's just very strange these days. I find it weird how in my community that our women only value us, black women only value black men when you making some money. I graduated from college. I have a job with benefits right now. I'm not making $100,000 a year, but I'm making decent money. You know what I'm saying? I'm living good. But before I was living good, before I was educated, before I graduated from college, and before, I was where I'm at now, I had to start from zero. You know what I'm saying? My whole thing is for whoever's listening, how come women can't just see your potential and ride with you on the journey? Why do women always want to? I'm gonna be respectful when I say this. Why do women always just want to ride your wave when you got a wave? But when you don't got a wave, they don't fucking see you. It's very strange. We're living in a time where women don't value men. They say they don't need men for nothing. I don't need no man for this. I don't need no man for that. But the only men that they seem to need are men who got social and economical status. But when you ain't got no social economical status, when you don't have an education, when you don't have the job or benefits, when you don't when you're not making the money that you want to make, when you're starting from scratch, when you're in college and you're studying, when you're working two jobs, when you're grinding, when you're hustling, when you going to trade school, whatever, they don't see your ass. When you go into welding school, when you're trying to be a mechanic, trying to get your own shop, when you're trying to be an entrepreneur, when you go get that first loan from the bank to start your business, they don't see your ass. They only see you when you're shining. The women in this generation say that they don't need men. It's weird, bro. Because guess what? They say that shit until they start getting old. And then when they start getting old, guess what? They can't use their looks anymore. They can't rely on their looks anymore. And then they'd be like, well, I'm getting paid this amount of money. I'm getting paid that amount of money. I got a master's degree. I got this degree. But then it's like, nobody really cares. You know what I'm saying? Men don't really care about what women have. We care about how women look and how women how a woman presents herself and a woman's femininity. But for the most part, women think that men care about how many degrees they have and how much money they make. It seems like the women in this generation are competing with men, even though men really aren't competing with them. It's very weird. It's like the women in this generation are feminists and they feel like they have to compete with men. But black men have been at the bottom of every social, economical category, education, you know, uh, you know, like everything. Black women have way better numbers than black men. You're gonna make more money than black men. You're gonna you're gonna thrive more than black men. Black women are some of the most educated people in the United States of America. How's a black man supposed to compete with that? You know what I'm saying? Most black men can't. Yeah, I went to college and I have a degree, but I went to college for free. I had scholarships and grants. I don't have student loan debt. So it's education is pay to play. The government paid for me and I played the game. That's the only reason why I'm successful. But for other people, they don't have the opportunity. Mass incarceration and other things keep other men down. In this generation where women are thriving educationally and financially, black women have a high rate of entrepreneurship, all of these good things that are happening for them. But it's not really a lot of good things happening for black men. But then you always hear this all the time. I don't need no man for nothing. Can't no man do nothing for me. Can't no man do nothing for me. And then the people who are always saying this, oftentimes the people who need a man in their life the most. It doesn't even have to be a relationship. You know, a lot of times in this generation, it's just very weird. I noticed that everybody is playing the oppression Olympics around here. The United States should be called the United States of oppression. It's the oppression Olympics. Everybody's oppressed. Everybody struggles harder than everybody else's. It's weird as shit. And I know this is a weird ass rant, but every time I turn on YouTube, I see all these videos. Black men talking shit about black women, and then black women talking shit about black men, talking about men are trash and men are this and men are that. Whoever's listening to this, I want you to ask yourself, does matriarchy work for black people? Does matriarchy work for us? Because black women have been in charge of the household for a while now. And most of these men are beta men. And most of these men are low key metrosexuals, homosexuals. So is matriarchy working for us as black people? We have to ask ourselves that. I don't hate black women. I don't hate nobody. I don't think matriarchy works. And I don't think patriarchy necessarily works. But at least when we were in a patriarchal community, our numbers were better. Marriage rates was better. Things were better in before the 1970s. Now all black men can't get jobs. Black men are in prison, have low education rates. They've been had low education rates, but now black women are thriving. Black men are not thriving. But then women of our community are the only ones who keep saying that they don't need us. It's weird, Joe. I don't know. I know this is a weird rant, but every time I turn on YouTube, all I see is negative shit. Negative videos about women and men and this and that. This shit is weird. I'm living in a generation where people will champion people that don't even belong in their own race. It's kind of weird, man. I know this is a weird rant. I don't usually make videos like this. I just had to say this shit because I've never experienced this shit where all people care about is hurting women. Black men make videos hurting black women, and black women make videos hurting black men because you hate the person that got you pregnant, or because you hate the person you got pregnant. And the only people that suffer is the next generation, the children that gotta be raised with one parent. Everybody here, most of the people out here got one parent. Most of them don't even got fathers because all the fathers on child support. So these motherfuckers is living in states where they pay the least amount of child support, so they don't have to pay a lot of money. A lot of people don't want to stay in the same state as their baby mama. Children are hurting. Generational pain is continuing for the next generation. I'm looking around, I'm just noticing that shit. It's kind of weird. This whole conversation is weird, really, but I just had to say that shit, man. This shit is kind of weird. A generation where everybody is fighting each other for what? I don't even know. People mad. People mad at their own race, at another gender because they only got one half of the story, one side of the story. Your mama told you that your daddy left you and left y'all by yourselves, and you hate the nigga for the rest of your life. But what's the other side of the story? Nobody really knows. I'm not saying everybody's story is like that, but it's just like it has to get to a point where we gotta stop with the negative shit. There's too much negative shit going on. That's all I wanted to say. It's your boy Standing Man. Holla at your boy, man.